Okay.
Medieval literature, Master of Arts in English, B.S. Bridging, 5th first. Next. Presentation of novel King Lear by William Shakespeare. Presenter information Mustadar Philosopher, roll number 235063. Next. Novel name is King Lear. Uh, Author name is William Shakespeare. William Shakespeare was an English poet and a drama writer. He was born in 1564 in Stratford upon Avon, in England. His, his death day is also believed to be this day in 1516. Shakespeare baptism is recorded in parish register at Holy Trinity Church on Wednesday, 26 April 1564.
Next.
Next. Next. On Shakespeare monument still standing inside Holy Trinity Church in Stratford upon Avon, we read that good friend for Jesus, said forbade to dig the dust and close here, blessed by the man that spares these stones, and cursed be the that moves my bones. Dr. Philip Shaw, senior lecturer at Exeter University, said Shakespeare had an unusual obsession with burial and a fear of exhumation. Now let me explain. In the medieval era, in the era of 15th century, in the era of Victorian era, in the era of late Elizabeth I of England, there was a custom that the grave of the rich were dug by the thief, and they stole the precious metals and precious stones uh, that were laying on them, and it was a common tradition that uh, the, the 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 tomb digging was very frequent in that days, and William Shakespeare has an obsession with that. So these words are actually a curse. This curse explains that if you dig my grave, if anyone want to dig my grave or sort and want to do some any sort of this thing, then God or Lord Jesus will have curse on them. So this is an explanation of this exact quote. Next, who was William Shakespeare?
Next.
He was born to John and Mary Shakespeare. His father was a glove maker, basically. Uh, they live in the village of Wilmcote, and his mother name was Mary Adam. There is some more information about this. He from glove maker. His father began his career as a glove maker. They had 8 children, but after glove maker, he was rose to a status of we can council, and then from council to the member of baronet, not baronet, and this family was given coat of arms. Uh, and this was their achievement. So Shakespeare was born in middle class in a family who was average income, but as he grew up, he grew up, and with the passage of time, his father's status and his family status was uplifted to an extent that they were considered honorable citizens of that council or that area, and they were also given a coat of arms, which was very uncommon that in that era, and it was only given to the uh, honorable persons and honorable families. That shows that these persons and these families are somehow close to the royalty. So this was their achievement. Next. Next. Next, next, next. There is a Shakespeare lost year between 1585 to 1592. He these are lost years. These are called his lost year due to some reasons. Uh, these are between the baptism of his twins uh, and a popular story also arose around this era that he actually steals something from Sir Thomas, and when he caught, he due to fear of punishment, he was get away. He get away from uh, to get away from his fate, to get away from punishment. He ran away, but this type of story or this type of thing not get no well recognition. So we don't know much about the lost years of Shakespeare. Many historians have different opinion about them. Next. Now, if we come to Shakespeare career, he has many. He writes many plays. He writes many dramas. His plays are dramas. His plays have his most notable works are Julius Caesar, Henry the Sixth, uh, and King Lear comes after. But before King Lear, he has Hamlet, and such type of things are very popular still in these days. That is why he is also known as the poet of England, national poet of England, or the father of modern poetry, or father of modern English literature. Next. Okay, as we all know that the artists and other these men have only one type of income. They don't have any passive income, and they want to have patron or some kind of patrons on them so that they can continue their work. So in the William Shakespeare case, he also have a patron, Lord Chamberlain. He worked in the Lord Chamberlain company for 20 years, and then he became the uh, shareholder of the company. And also after Lord Chamberlain, he also worked under Queen Elizabeth I. So, and also some other lords were his patronage. So he was lucky that he found patrons of royal circle and patrons of high class, so that his work was continued, and enjoy uh, he enjoy a special life. He was not depressed like most other artists, or he was recognized in his life. Next. He was admired by many of his fellows, and in his life and after his life, like other than he is still admired by many ones, as I stated earlier. Now I will not repeat that sort of things. Next. 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 Now he has famous work. We can categorize his famous work into some categories. Now in tragedies, he has Hamlet, uh, Othello, King Lear, Macbeth, Romeo and Juliet. Next. In comedies, A Midsummer Night Dream, Twelfth Night, As You Like It Much, Know About Nothing, The Taming of Shrew. History is Richard the Third, Henry the Fourth, Part 1 and Part 2, Henry the Fifth, and Richard I, as I have told you earlier. Next. On the one, romances, The Tempest, Chamberlain, The Winter's Tale, Pericles, Prince of Tyre. These are some of the most well-known plays by Shakespeare, but he wrote several others as well. But I have mentioned the most recognizable one. Second. Next. Now I will come to my topic, the summary and the novel I was given. I was given the summary of to represent. I was given to representation of King Lear. I can tell you one liner. There is a king, King Lear, king of ancient England. He divides his kingdom among his three daughters. Uh, but in the division, he totally he totally during in his division he set aside his third daughter and divided his kingdom in the rest of two. And now the story begins with this. And after this, when he divided the kingdom in his two daughters, they we can say that uh, they also don't behave well mannered with him, uh, and uh, he lost hope, and he again returned to his third daughter, to whom he earlier discarded from his wealth and from his royal uh, family status and from his throne. Uh, Now his daughter is married to French king, and from their French king, and from third daughter they attacked the English, but they were defeated. And after their defeat, King Lear, first and second daughter were died due to the royal conspiracies. Only one of his son-in-law was left. The other was killed by the one of the character I will tell you later. And her beloved daughter uh, Cordelia was also uh, died because of some reason, and this is all crux, and this is the tragedy, and due to this tragedy King Lear got mad and he also dies. This is the theme of one liner. Next. Now this play is now this play is categorized into five acts. The act number one is that it begins as the Earl of Gloucester, the illegitimate, introduces his illegitimate son Edmund to the Earl of Kent. Now, Earl, we can say Earl, that it is the second position or second great position after the prince, or after the we can say that prince, or after, yes, prince. Uh, King Lear, king of Britain, has three daughters. I have tell you earlier, and Gonrail, the eldest daughter, which is married to Duchess of Albany, and Dragon, Duchess of Cornwall, and Cordelia, the youngest. I tell you earlier, Cordelia's. Acha, sorry. This action he divide the kingdom, and that as her daughter is Dole as King of France, marry her. I told you earlier. And here uh, Lear was rejected by both his daughters, as I have tell you earlier, and he said his famous quote, means the author, the William Shakespeare quote, "Nothing will come out of nothing." Next. Now this is Act Two. Edmund is determined to be recognized as the rightful son of Gloucester. He persuaded his father that his legitimate son is after his want to took his life. Uh, so due to danger that his father will take his life, Edgar flees and take the disguise of Belgian beggar. Edward become a courtier and yeah, and as as every king has some lawyers, so as in the case of Lear, he also had some royals. Uh, Real have also 100 companions, and Gonrail was very upset due in up Albany's castle due to them. Kent has returned from exile in disguise and been as a player as servant to Lear, and as I tell you earlier, Lear goes to his daughters to live with them, but he was refused by both of his daughters next. And here is the third thing uh, the author introduced. Now I don't know whether this is the storm in real or this is the storm depicted in the mind of king. I thought this is the storm depicted in the mind of king, ex-king. The storm came and this uh, and that, etc. Next, next. Now this is final act. With the help of his daughter and French king, they attack on English crown, the empire of ex-king Lear, but they get defeated. And Albany and Agar and Cordelia and is one daughter kill herself, and the one was killed previously by the other, uh, and Edmund dies, and only Cordelia left. Uh, but Cordelia was also died from the hangman, and this is the tragic end of the story. Next. Now we have some references and quotations. Nothing will come of nothing I have told you earlier. Spoken by Lear to his daughter Cordelia when she refuses to flatter or win her share of the kingdom. But ironically, she is the most sincere of his daughter. It is talking about Cordelia next. How sharper than a serpent's tooth it is to have a thankless child. It is when King Lear now have realized that his actions were very brutal, and now he would have to face consequences of that. Next, as flies to wanton boys, are we to the gods? They kill us for their sport. It is spoken by Gloucester after his eyes are shed apart and etc. Next, yes. The weight of this sad time we must obey, speak what we feel, not what we ought to other. Again, this is either speak this line at the end of play, suggesting that they must acknowledge and accept the consequences of action. This line is similar to the King Lear first dialogue that he spoke that he will face the consequences of what he has done next. Now we will come to the themes of the presentation: power and authority. This play shows the power and authority and the corrupting influence. Layer decision uh, exposes the danger of unchecked authority, and second, madness and sanity. And justice and injustice and family relationship, I have told you earlier, and this is all right written in the presentation. You can read the presentation. I will only recite about main themes. Next, there is familial relationship, blindness and insight, redemption and forgiveness. Now, redemption and forgiveness is very important theme. The play explores the possibility of redemption and forgiveness, especially through Leia's transformation and Adam's ability to forgive his father. In English plays, redemption and forgiveness is very important. Now, in my point of view, we also have read the novel A Tale of Two Cities. In that case, the crux is redemption and forgiveness. Redemption and forgiveness. So this thing is very important in English literature. Next, literary devices. This is there is imagery, metaphor, foreshadowing, irony, allusion. Next, soliloquy. These devices allow the depth, or they have they show emotions, and they have enable Shakespeare to add more complex themes and all sort of things. Next, now I have told you earlier. Now we will explore more in detail characters. Lear is the king. Cordelia is youngest daughter. Goneril and Regan her elder daughter. The fool is Lear's witty and insightful companion. Kent is a royal nobleman. Gloucester is a nobleman who undergoes a parallel narrative to Lear. Next, Agar is a legitimate son. Edmund is illegitimate son of Gloucester. Cornwall and Albany are husbands of Rhaegar and Goneril, and each character embodies different traits and motivations that will contribute to the play. As in different novels, there is same thing as in this novel. Next, now there is reference I have give you earlier. The new references are the weight of this time and this sad time. We must obey, speak what we feel, not what we ought to have more than those who show us. You can read this in my presentation. These references have one line explanation. I don't think that these are important, or these are such references that will have questions on them or that. Next, there is a main references. There is summary that this novel portrays betrayal, injustice, suffering, and a human condition, as we have earlier explored all these things. Next, thanks. This was my presentation.